This video will contain spoilers from the off, so remember, you've been warned. Episode 1 of The Idol has just been released and it's safe to say that it's come out to some mixed reviews. People have thought that it was better than the early reviews, and others thought that it was worse and deserved the harsh critics. However, one thing that many individuals agreed on was that the incorporation of the actress Jennie as one of the main characters in the show was something that went down well. The character of Dyanne didn't get much screen time, but what we did see made it seem like there was a lot more to come of her. So with that, I thought I'd break down and explain the character and look into what we can expect to see from her. So let's get into it. Here is Who is Dyanne in The Idol Episode 1. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Let's break this video down into a couple of different sections. Who is Dyanne? Within the first episode, we met the character Dyanne quite early on. It was within the first half. She was a dancer that was on the floor practicing the routine for Joss's new single, alongside Joss. We saw them dancing together, but at one point, the lead choreographer asked Joss to sit down, and she got Dyanne to stand in and beat Joss in the routine. This was so Joss would be able to see how she could improve on the way that she was dancing at that point, as Dyanne was performing it better. So it's clear to see that Dyanne is probably one of the more seasoned dancers out of all of the ones that are in the group. I thought it could have got a bit frosty between the pair when that happened, as Joss was definitely not in the right mindset, but Joss took it well and there was no malice between them. So it seems as though they are relatively good friends. We even saw Dyanne take Joss to the side and try to lift her spirits and get her in the mood to deliver a strong dance during the practice. So it definitely feels as though they're there for each other on an emotional level and are not just colleagues, as they seem to care about each other's feelings. There was an interesting moment that I felt occurred during the dance that we saw unfold when Joss took back to the stage and was the main subject again. During the dance scene, it looked as though the pair of them were quite close when they were face to face, and it did make me wonder if we could potentially see something develop between the pair as the season goes on, as there was a look that they gave each other during the dance where it was almost not in character with the dance, but the way that their eyes interlocked seemed as though it meant more. There was something real about the connection that they had. We also saw the pair go out together to Tedros' club in the evening in an extended group, and the both of them sat in the back of the car together. Prior to that, we saw both Dyanne and Joss in a sauna together, where Dyanne looked over at Joss and she gave her a subtle smile. So it's clear to see that outside of Leia, who is Joss's assistant and best friend in her own words, Dyanne must be the next closest person that she has. I think this is already painting a picture of the world that Joss lives in, and the fact that the only friends that she has are people that get paid by her and her team, so it will be interesting to see the dynamic between the pair as the season develops. Theories about Dyanne. So with only a few details known about the character and only a small amount of screen time in that first episode, it leaves a lot of room for theorizing about what could happen to the character's intentions throughout the show, and also where she will be at the end of the season. And there's definitely a couple of theories following that first inclusion. The first theory is that Dyanne and Joss could become lovers. There were a couple of moments that pointed towards that kind of vibe between the both of them in the small screen time that they had together. For example, the look that they shared when they were dancing, and also the smile that Dyanne emitted when they were in the sauna together. No words were spoken between the pair, but a kind of intimate look that was more than a friendly smile. With the both of them already being so close, who knows, we could maybe see that being developed over the course of this first season. That's definitely the most obvious theory, but there's nothing to say that it couldn't happen. Another one is that maybe something could happen to Dyanne. If Dyanne is one of Joss's closest friends that isn't as immersed in her world as what Leia is, because it seems as though she lives with her, there will be a slight disconnect to Joss's demise, as Dyanne will be viewing it from the outside. With Tedros being a character that is slightly sketchy and it looking like he's set to be leading some kind of group that's going to be taking over Joss's house, his crew look like they're a bunch of dangerous people that will not hold back on what it is that they want to do, no matter who stands in their way. We still don't know Tedros' intentions with Joss, but he and his crew spotted her the moment that she walked into his club. I feel Joss is the type of character that, due to her mental instability and the way in which she was easily swayed by Tedros with the use of his charm and his behavior, she might start to forget who she is and the people that are actually close to her, meaning she will start to change as an individual and cause people to be pushed away, which could be Dyanne. With us seeing Dyanne as the type of person that was reassuring Joss when she was doing the dance, but not doing it to the standards of the choreographer, and with her telling Joss that they were all there because of her, along with it seeming as though she was somebody who was a good friend, she seems to know what she wants and is the type of individual that is not prone to falling for those type of situations, and she could be a better judge of character, which would ultimately mean that she may not even want to be around Joss anymore. The worst case scenario that we could see happening with the character is that she could end up getting caught up in the mess, wanting out, trying to bring Joss back to reality rather than the mind-controlled state by Tedros, and his crew could end up doing something which could cause her harm. So there are a fair few different directions that we could see the character take in this show, which is good, because there's a sense of unpredictability that's present, and that's the best way for it to be. Who plays Dyanne? That then leaves one final thing for this video, and that's to discuss who's playing the character that's taken the internet by storm and has left the first episode with only praise and no negativity, one of the only characters to do so. Well, the person who's playing this character is an individual called Jennie, and she's a singer in the South Korean girl group called Blackpink. That's where she's amassed her extremely large following from and her global fame. Her role in the idol is actually her acting debut, so prior to this show she'd never delved into the world of acting before. She's very much stayed within her lane in the music industry. But judging by the response that she got after her first appearance in this episode, and her being the only person that was really spoken about in a positive light, it seems as though adopting acting is definitely something that could benefit her career. I'm intrigued to see where this character is going to go in the show. As I said in my review of the first episode, it wasn't the best, but at the core of the show there's a pretty cool concept. So I'm hoping that as time goes on, the show will lean in on that and be able to improve upon the slightly rocky foundations that it set after the first episode. Time will tell, but I'm going to enjoy the ride. I have done an in-depth review of the first episode of The Idol over on the channel. I call out everything that was wrong with it and also some things that I did actually find quite good. So if you'd like to see a full breakdown, then head over to the channel. So, there you have it. Who is Dyanne in The Idol Episode 1? If you want to see more videos such as endings explained, theories and predictions and character breakdowns, then click on the I button, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter @brainpilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. Are you looking forward to seeing more of the character? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.